Is the Misfit Vegan Podcast, episode 225. I got a great email from someone asking me 4 really good questions. And before I start, I want to let you guys know that I'm starting a brand new group coaching course on February 1st. If you need support, okay, if you are someone who knows exactly what to do, but you don't know how to stick to it, that is what I'm doing. I'm teaching a 6-week course. It's going to be very intensive. We're going to meet twice a week on Zoom. We're going to be in a daily group chat on WhatsApp together, me and 10 other amazing, beautiful women. So if you're someone who knows exactly what to do, but you don't know how to do it, well, I got you. Send me an email, jd@ms.fitvegan.com. That's jd@msfitvegan.com, and I'll send you all the details, the application, and see if we might be a good fit to work together, okay? And if we're not a good fit, then I'll recommend someone that might help you further, that might be able to help you better than I can. But if you're someone who is dealing with a food addiction, if you're someone who is dealing with not being able to stick to a healthy vegan diet, well, that's my specialty. I've been doing it since 2011. I went vegetarian in 2010, raw vegan in 2011, and I can help you. So let's get on with the questions. Here we go. Number 1. These are great questions, by the way. How do you stay on track with family events like birthdays and holidays? Okay, so in the beginning, I fell off because I was not aware of how to do this. This is probably the trickiest part of being a healthy vegan or a raw vegan, okay? You go to these birthdays and holidays and they never have food for you, ever. And if they do, it's very small. And it's usually not even ripe fruit. It's usually like cantaloupe that's too hard to eat or like berries that are sour. So here's what you do. Number 1, you eat before you go. You have a big smoothie or you have a big fruit meal. You have a big salad. You have a lot of fruit and vegetables before you go. You fill up. You fill up before you go, okay? And that's number 1. So you have a big smoothie or a big salad or something very, very satisfying. Maybe a melon or some bananas or a papaya or something that's going to satisfy you. Don't just have a cup of blueberries before you go to an event. A cup of blueberries has about 80 calories in it. That is not going to satisfy you. A meal needs to have at least 500 calories. Okay, so what is that? That's 5 bananas. That's about 10 oranges. Okay, that's about 2 melons. Okay, so melons are very low in calories. So what I recommend is you have a smoothie. You put a bunch of bananas in there, 5 or 6 bananas, maybe a cup of blueberries, a few figs or dates, dried figs or dates to sweeten it up a little bit. Put some greens in there, some hemp seeds and some water. Have an amazing, delicious smoothie. Okay. And then the other thing I do is I always bring something. Always bring something you can eat and if you want, that you can share. Okay? And so I like to bring, cut up pineapple or cut up watermelon or like cut up honeydew or cantaloupe. I like to bring something like that. Something that is available, I can find it ripe, and it's not expensive. Bringing a whole entire bowl of berries is not realistic because that's going to cost you like, I don't know, $1,000. You know how these berries are, especially if it's organic. And it's just not filling. Berries are not filling. So bring some filling, really delicious fruit that you can share or make a big salad or make like some type of raw vegan dessert. But I always recommend bringing fruit, okay? Bring something you can eat, you can share as well. Don't expect to stay on track if you don't prepare. What is that expression? Fail to prepare and prepare to fail. There's going to be temptations all around you at all times. Because let me tell you something right now. When you decide to get healthy, the world doesn't change. Your responsibilities don't go away. Your family doesn't change. Your friends don't change. Your job doesn't change. Your house doesn't change. Your location doesn't change. The world won't change when you decide to change. And so you need to see the world differently. You need to see the world as a place that is not set up for you to be healthy. That's why you've got to be healthy. You've got to make the choices and the decisions to keep yourself healthy and keep yourself eating the things that you love. That's another thing. Don't try to eat anything you don't like. If you don't like grapefruit, fuck it. Don't eat grapefruit, boo. Okay? Grapefruit's great for you, but it's not good for you if you don't like it. All right? So stick to the fruit and vegetables that you love and fill up before you go and bring some to share. And if you're full, if you fill up on healthy fruit and vegetables, then you won't even have room in your stomach for the temptations, for the cake, for the candies, for the donuts, for the cookies. See, the problem is that you're not eating enough fruit and vegetables. And so, of course, you're hungry. Of course, you're craving the foods that are at these holiday events and these birthdays. Because remember, if you're not eating enough fruit, you will crave processed foods. And if you're not eating enough vegetables, you will crave salt. So never forget that. Number 2, how do you keep and stay motivated around judgmental family? This is also quite difficult. This is a great question, and this is exactly why I started doing group coaching. I used to coach people one-on-one for years and years and years. But then I realized that the number one thing that people are missing is community. That's the number one thing I was missing. I didn't have a community of people that were also eating healthy, that were not going to make fun of me, that were not going to tempt me and try to peer pressure me into eating fries or pizza or vegan donuts. I needed a community of people that understood that I was on my healthy journey, and I didn't need people in my life making it harder for me to do that, to live the life that I want, to have the skin that I want, the body that I want, the health that I want. I needed to find people in my life that also were on the same path, because my family wasn't and my closest friends weren't either. And so that's why I started doing group coaching. And so if you're someone who needs support, we all need support. If you're someone who doesn't have a family of raw vegans, okay, does anybody have a family of raw vegans? If you're someone who doesn't live with a healthy person, who doesn't have healthy friends, well, this is why my group coaching course is going to be so valuable and change your life. Because you're going to meet 9 other amazing women that are in the same exact journey as you, that are in the same boat as you, and are walking the same path. And they're going to become your best friends for life. And at the end of the course, guys, what I do is I pair up people together. So at the end of the course, you're going to get an accountability partner, and you're going to do a weekly call with them forever. And they're going to be your new fruity BFF, your best fruity friend for life. Okay. And so I'm really excited. I did this course with my friend Matt from Raw Intuition a few weeks ago. We just finished. It was amazing. And so I'm doing it again. This time I'm doing it specifically for women that have a food addiction. So if you're someone who, again, knows what to do but doesn't know how to do it, let me know. Send me an email, jd@Ms.FitVegan.com. Okay. Or you can find me on Instagram, but I prefer you send me an email. Okay. So that's number 2. Yeah, you gotta stop taking things personally. Your family is amazing, but they don't have the same goals as you. And there's something called the crabs in the bucket syndrome. The crabs in the bucket syndrome. Okay, if you've never heard of it, it's fascinating. So if you put crabs in a bucket, okay, like one of those white buckets, right? If you put crabs in a bucket, if one of the crabs tries to crawl out to freedom, the other crabs will pull its legs down to keep it at the bottom. Now, why does this happen? It's not because the crabs at the bottom are angry at that crab, or they don't want that crab to be free, or they don't want that crab, to reach the outside world. It's not that they don't want better for that crab. They truly think that the crab, if it climbs up out of the bucket, it's going to die. It's not going to be safe anymore. It's safe in the bucket. This is exactly what's happening with our family and friends that do not support us getting healthy. A lot of our family and friends, they don't know what they don't know. They don't know anything about nutrition. They don't know what's healthy and what's not healthy. And so with me, okay, when I went raw vegan in 2011, my mom freaked out. My family freaked the fuck out because they thought I was going to die of a protein deficiency. They thought I was going to be extremely deficient, anemic. I was going to be sick. I was going to lose so much weight. I was going to be unhealthy. I might even die. Yeah, they were worried about me. So they kept trying to make me feel like I was doing the wrong thing. They kept calling me a fanatic. They kept saying I was obsessed. They kept saying that I was going to be sick. I have to be careful. My mom was crying. My mom would be crying, saying, you have to eat chicken. You have to. Please, don't do this to me. You're all I have. My mom, my father left before I was born. My sister was disabled, and I was the breadwinner of the family, and I was the person in charge. I made the money. I was the only responsible person. My mom was also disabled, and we needed me to make money to pay rent and to have a life, a comfortable life. And so there was a lot of pressure on me to not get sick, and a lot of pressure on me to not, die. If I died, my mom was going to be homeless with my sister, okay? Because yes, they were on Medicaid, but Medicaid did not even pay the rent. Medicaid was a joke. And so because, long story short is, we don't need to go into it. The long story short is I needed to make money, and I needed to be healthy, and I needed to be okay. And she was extremely worried about me. Meanwhile, she should have been worried about me when I was eating dead animal body parts, when I was eating donuts and cookies and cakes and Doritos and McDonald's. But nobody worries about you then. People worry about you when you eat healthy. Why is that? It's the crabs in the bucket syndrome. So you can't take it personally. You gotta surround yourself with people that get it, that know that this just makes sense. This is common sense. If you eat healthy foods, fruit and vegetables, nuts and seeds, you're going to be so healthy. And if you eat unhealthy foods, you're going to be super unhealthy. It's simple. Now, it's not easy, but it's simple. And that's why I'm doing this course, to teach you how to live this lifestyle. Because once you know, then it's very easy. But everything's hard before you know how to do it. Okay, number 3. How long does it take to see and feel the benefits? Great question. I personally felt benefits 7 days after I went raw. So in 2011, I just wanted to go raw for 7 days. I wanted to test myself and see if I could do it, first of all, because I had never not eaten junk food in my whole life. I was 26 years old, and I had never stuck to anything ever. I tried The Zone, I tried Atkins, I tried Weight Watchers, I tried everything, and I could not stick to any diet. And that's because I was starving myself all day. And at night, I would just binge and eat all the ice cream and all the donuts and all the cookies and cakes and Little Debbie's and M&M's and Snickers and everything I could eat, Oreos and whatever was in the house. And so after 7 days of eating raw vegan, I felt so good. I felt so alive. And honestly, I have never looked back. I have never looked back. Yes, I have tried to eat like a raw till 4. I've tried to eat cooked dinners because I know that you can be very healthy eating cooked food. And sometimes fruit is not available, right? Especially when I lived in New York. I was raw vegan for 9 years in New York City. And so I tried to be raw till 4. It didn't work for me because I felt so good, so alive, so energetic eating raw that I could never go back to eating cooked food, even if it was sweet potatoes or steamed vegetables or whatever. Okay. And so I eat a raw vegan diet because it makes me feel good, and you feel it immediately. And the benefits, well, beside from my mood being better and my energy being better, I started seeing benefits immediately as well in my skin. I started losing weight. I started having less gas and bloating. It did take many years for my skin to completely heal. Okay. I'm going to be honest. All right. It took, and there's tips and tricks that I can give you. I have a raw vegan beauty book. The number 1 tip is to get a colonic for your skin. Okay. Because if your skin is breaking out, then your colon is impacted with old decaying fecal matter. So look into getting a colonic, but also change your diet. What you're eating is showing up on your face. Okay. That's for the skin. For other things, for my weight. Yeah, I definitely lost a lot of weight. Just real quick, I want to say about the skin. Immediately, my skin started looking better, but because I had such bad acne, the scars lasted for years. And now I don't have any acne scars, thank God. But it did take a very long time. I think it took about 3 years to get completely beautiful, glowing skin. But now I have it for life. So yes, I did have to suffer for 3 years. I didn't wear any makeup, or maybe I wore a little bit of concealer sometimes when I had to, when I felt like I had to, like important meetings or whatever. But yeah, I highly recommend you give up the makeup. If you're suffering from acne, you've got to get rid of the makeup. Start using coconut oil. Start eating as much fresh, ripe, juicy, delicious fruit and vegetables. Get rid of the oil in your diet. Yeah, start using coconut oil on your skin, but stop consuming oil. Stop consuming animal products. And of course, you got to get off the processed foods. They're poisoning you from the inside out. So I saw results immediately, okay, immediately. But something I'll say real quick is that after I went raw, within a month, I did get a little sick, okay, because I was detoxing all of the crap. And so that's when I got colonics and I started feeling better immediately. And so you might get a headache after a month of eating raw. You might feel a little weak or a little tired, and that's the toxins leaving your body. Once they leave, they're gone for good, okay? You really want these things to leave your body, the old processed foods. We've got to get the chemicals and the toxins out, because if they stay in our bodies, well, that's when they form dis-ease in our body. We've got to get them out. Okay, and number 4, great questions, by the way. How do I deal with cravings and temptation? So there's a lot of things that I can tell you. I have a whole entire hour-and-a-half Zoom that I teach in my course on this. But the basics are you've got to eat enough. When you're eating enough, you will have way less cravings, okay? You've got to get the food out of your house. If it's in your house, it's going in your mouth, all right? As Chef AJ so famously said. And then number 3 is that you've got to abstain. You've got to abstain, because the only reason you're craving things is because you've eaten them recently. For example, chocolate. I used to be obsessed and addicted to chocolate. I ate chocolate all the time, every day, so I was addicted to it. But once I gave it up, once I started replacing chocolate with smoothies and juices, nice cream, fresh, ripe, juicy, delicious fruit and vegetables, big salads, amazing, delicious dressings, this is when I stopped craving chocolate, because I stopped eating it. You've got to fill up on healthy food. It's as simple as that. You've got to buy an abundance of the fresh, ripe, juicy, delicious fruit that you love. Okay, if you're on a budget, buy lots and lots of bananas and apples. Okay, don't worry about organic. If you can't afford organic, don't worry. Sorry, somebody just called me, so I hope this doesn't sound weird. But anyway, I was saying don't worry about organic if you can't afford it. If you can afford organic, of course, eat as much organic as possible, because not only does it taste better, but it is higher in nutritional density. Okay, so, and of course, you're supporting better companies, better farmers, right? We don't really want to be supporting these companies that use poison on our produce, right? Because every single dollar you spend is a dollar for voting for what you want, okay? Your dollar is your vote. And so, do what you can, use what you have, get some amazing recipes. I have a free book, www.100freerecipes.com. It's all of my simple, easy, delicious recipes, 5 ingredients or less, no dehydrator required, no salt, no oil, everything's raw vegan. And that is the $1 million question. How do I fight cravings and temptation? And I will help you do that. But the basics are that. Fill up on fresh, ripe, juicy, delicious fruit and vegetables. Bring it to your job. Bring it to these events. Bring it to the birthday parties. Bring it to restaurants. Yeah, restaurants don't have anything for you. When you go out to eat with people, you have to eat before you go, and then be prepared to eat nothing there, or eat a tiny, stupid salad, or bring your own dressing and eat a salad there, or bring fruit to the restaurant. I know that sounds crazy, but guess what? That's what I do. And I am crazy, but I'm also the healthiest person I know. There's a sacrifice you're going to have to make. And I always like to say, choose your hard. Yes, it's hard to prepare food to bring with you to a restaurant, or prepare food to bring with you to a birthday party. It's hard to wake up early to make smoothies before work. Yes, it's hard to prioritize buying lots of fruit and vegetables. It's hard to fit that into your budget if you don't have the means, the financial means right now. It's hard to get healthy, yes. But it's also really hard to be sick. It's hard to walk around in a body you don't love. It's hard to be embarrassed to go to the beach, to go to the pool, to be naked. It's hard to deal with skin issues. It's hard to deal with health issues, having to go to the doctor, get x-rays, prescription pills, seeking out this healer, that healer, these different natural modalities. It's hard to be sad. It's hard to be depressed. It's hard to deal with your body when it's not healthy. Choose your heart. Choose your heart. So I thank you very much for listening. If you're interested in connecting with me, send me an email, jd@Ms.FitVegan.com, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you very much for these questions. And if you have any other questions, send me an email and I'll answer them. Bye for now.